Today, we're unboxing not one, but two massive Samsung televisions. One, the DU800, which happens to be an 85-inch TV. Number two, the Q80C, that happens to be a 96-inch television. Is bigger, better? What's the difference? Today, we're gonna find out. Now keep in mind that this is only two models of the long Samsung lineup. They actually have 4 different series, and within those series, they actually have 2 to 3 different models. To give you a quick summary, they currently have the Neo QLED 8K series. Within that, they have 2 different models. The Neo QLED 4K, which within that, they have 3 different models. The OLED Innovations, in that lineup, they have 3 different models. And then you have your Lifestyle series, which is your Samsung frame. Couple of the models that are not included in here are some of your entry level products that you can normally find at Costco or some of your consumer stores. But let's get to the details of these right here. All right, so first we're gonna remove the straps fresh out of the package or fresh out of the box. They should comes with these straps to remove the bottom to the back of the TV. 2, I may have to have Chris come over here a little bit closer, but if you look, you do not want to rip this open and try to get the television out of the top. These right here are actually removable straps to actually, once you remove those, you can actually open the television up without ripping anything that we got it open. Let's go over some of the packages and things that are gonna come in the box. 1, your manuals and remotes. This television, unlike the frame and some others, has all of the components built into it. So you are gonna get your power cord, your remote, which remotes have gotten extremely small nowadays. They've minimized the amount of buttons that they want to put on there. You have your manual and all your warranty information. As much as we like to put TVs on the wall, they still send them with their stands to mount them on an actual TV stand. So that all TVs do come with stands. Keep in mind, quick disclaimer, if you ever plan on putting this on a stand, do not throw these away. These are not universal. Each model, each brand uses different stands for their televisions. So these are not universal, don't throw them away. We very, very rarely have any issues with products being damaged during shipment. We've had some issues with displays and inputs and outputs, but when it comes to the actual television, they package them very, very well to make sure that we can ship them from our warehouse straight to your house. All right, let's get some of this packaging off. Ooh. All right, it's crazy that as technology evolves, the average size of a television gets bigger and bigger. If you think about it, back in the days, having a 55-inch TV was a big deal. Now we have 98, 110-inch, 120-inch televisions. 85-inch TV is probably a standard in most living rooms. Extremely, extremely thin. I don't have the exact measurements, but this has to be less than half an inch. And if you look in the back of it, let me give you guys some extra lighting. If you look in the back of it, it's just a smooth surface with our mounting brackets and all of our inputs and outputs. Small, thin display. They still come very, very bezel-less. If you look, this has to be less than 1/4 inch of a bezel. So it is gonna look extremely good when the TV's off. Let's get this bad boy plugged in, and then we're gonna talk about the inputs and outputs. All right, so we got our power supply. Our power cord, we got our power cord. I got a strip over here to make it reach, but standard plug-in. Side note, the Samsung frame, because it's one of our #1 selling televisions, it's a completely different setup. That one comes with a 1 connect box. This one is just the old school 2-prong plug. There's a couple things as I mentioned, and I'm gonna get a close-up of this so y'all can see it better on the camera. But let's talk about the bare minimum. You have arrows up, down, a clicker, back, play, home, and your shortcuts for Netflix, Samsung TV Plus, Disney, and Prime. That's it. You do have to pull this to actually remove it and connect it to to activate the batteries. Another cool thing, it is solar powered. So if you just put this by your window, you'll charge it up. If not, there's a button over here somewhere. Before you see the visuals, let's talk about the inputs and outputs in the back. Let's turn it this way. Ooh. This is very critical. This, when it comes to the price range, this is more of an entry-level television. So I'm gonna point some of the key highlights that compare this TV to this TV, but not only that, to other TVs that happen to have maybe be lower models and some of the inputs that they're not going to have. This TV comes with 3 HDMI inputs with 2.1 HDMI technology. This TV comes with 4. Some of their lower models actually only come with 2. Some of the actual commercial displays only come with 1. So if you are a gamer or you have multiple sources, that is one of the things to consider, that certain models are going to have less inputs. When it comes to your audio outputs, both of them are going to have an actual optical audio output. But another thing to consider is other models, entry-level models, some of them do not have an audio output. Why is this important? If you're going to be using a soundbar that has only optical inputs, that doesn't have ARC, audio return channel technology, or if you're going to be pulling audio out of the television to send it to an amplifier to then play it through some speakers, and you happen to need an optical or a Balun, some of the entry-level televisions will not let you do that. All right, let me take a break right there because I was saying a bunch of shit. All right, so let's continue with the inputs. They're both going to have Ethernet inputs for hardwired connection. Disclaimer, if you can, please plug in all of your equipment. Wi-Fi is extremely reliable nowadays, but the more things you put on your Wi-Fi, the more it's going to drag. The slower it's going to get. So hardwiring is the best tip I can give you for that. Antenna, we still have RF antenna. If you want to put local channels, they still come with the antenna built in. And then last but not least, USB inputs. Both of these televisions are going to have 2 USB inputs for playback and for accessories. So when it comes to the inputs and outputs, as we compare them, the biggest difference is actually going to be the amount of inputs that this one has. The big difference is going to come to processing in picture. So let's flip this bad boy around and let me show you how to set it up. You have 2 ways of setting up this television. One is via the app, which is quick and easy. If you're logged in, you have all of your information, it's gonna ask you to put a QR code and you can do everything from the phone. Number 2 is if you want to do it manually. It is a step-by-step setup. Now, one thing to consider is that these remotes out of the box, these are Bluetooth. So out of the box, they are not connected. So give me a second and let me get it to connect. Not connecting. But they are Bluetooth, Chris. I just don't know why it's not prompting me to. It's making me feel like, I don't know why it's blinking and blinking and blinking and blinking. All right, so fresh out of the box, most of the remotes are not connected. Keep in mind that these are IR remotes, but they connect to them via Bluetooth for a more reliable technology. So one of the things we had to do earlier was actually lift the television and press the back and pause button for 3 seconds, and then it actually connected. So we had to take a quick little break. That's why I broke a sweat. But now, back to the setup of the television. It's extremely simple. If you already have your inputs connected, it's going to source them out. These televisions have HDMI technology that a lot of the times not only tell you what type of device is connected to the television, but with HDMI control and audio return, you can actually control certain components. From there, we're gonna let it know that none of the inputs are connected, and we're gonna continue. There, it's gonna ask you if you want to set up as home or retail. Obviously, this is a home TV. And then from there, it's gonna connect us to the network. In this scenario, we're gonna connect it to the Empire AV services. And while I'm connecting this to the Wi-Fi, I want you to take a second, leave us a comment, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to connect with us, click the link in the description. We're a Samsung direct dealer. These televisions we can ship to you, help you set up. Not only that, but obviously any audio, video services that you need, we're here to help. Here we go. So now that we're on the Wi-Fi, you have to agree to all the terms and conditions. Basically, if you don't agree, you can't use the television. I don't know anyone that has ever read all of that. If you have, a quick subscription for our subscribers will be great on the comments. All right, let's continue. One of the things that you're going to have to set up as you're setting up your Samsung television is your Samsung account. This is what's going to allow you to download all of the apps into the television and also keep all of the information within all your Samsung televisions in one place. One of the coolest things about both of these televisions is that they both actually have the option for you to download the Samsung Gaming Hub. Coolest thing about it is for our gamers, you do not need an Xbox console. These TVs allow you to play cloud games from the Xbox Live account directly to your television without the use of a console. Keeping in mind that most TVs or most households are steering away from actual hardwired equipment because the TVs have everything. One of the biggest apps that they added throughout the last couple of years is integration with iPhones. They actually have built-in Apple Television and also give you screen sharing from any Android or Apple device. Let's continue with this setup. All right, so now that we got this bad boy opened up and on the network, I've showed you the inputs and outputs and packaging, but let's actually talk about what matters, and it's actually the display of the television. Not all televisions are built the same, and just because something is bigger doesn't mean it's better. Just because something is cheaper doesn't mean it's better. And technically, because it's more expensive doesn't mean it's better. When it comes to television, you have to find the right television that fits the lifestyle and where you're going to put it. What makes a difference on a television? The motion, the actual processor of a television, is going to determine how sharp the image is. When it comes to your aspect ratio and your contrast ratio, this is what shows you the difference between your darkest spot and your brighter spot. Last but more important is how is the television actually lit. For example, this Q80C is actually backlit, so it's going to give you a bright image, a bright even image across the whole display. This television, it's a QLED, so it's going to have brighter colors and deeper blacks compared to this one, which is still a great television, but it's more of a budget-friendly display. This one is actually edge lit, so it's not gonna have as uniform of brightness throughout the whole display. When it comes to your audio, things to consider is this Q80C actually has Dolby Atmos object tracking technology that is going to move with the actions of the television. This TV still has good speakers, but it just has a standard 2.0 channel audio system. And then we talk about the processor, which was, I mentioned, it was one of the most important things. This one has AI power upscaling, sharpening technology to give you a sharper image. In conclusion, this television, it's a more budget friendly for a standard living room or a TV or a room where the television is not going to get used as much. This television right here is more for our movie lovers and our gamers. It's going to have better motion flow, better image, sharper image, a brighter image, deeper blacks to give you a more realistic image. Sorry I couldn't open the 98-inch. It was a lot of work just to get this 85-inch open, but I do want you to know that I hope that you got some value from today's video. All this information is meant to be educational and entertaining, so if there's any other devices or televisions or products that you want to see, comment them. We'll be happy to open them and go over them with you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And like always, don't forget to look, listen, and live with Empire AV.